Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Chalk Talk here on the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel. Continuing to mow through the Aaron Rodgers film from 2024 with the Jets. We are getting near the end, week 14. This one was one of the better ones of the season for Rodgers. Really, really good. 27 of 39, 339 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, sacked 3 times. Passer rating of 104.5, but an ESPN QBR of 76.7, so much, much higher than it's been in recent weeks. PFF gave him a very favorable grade of 81.3, a passing grade of 79.6. They gave him 1 big-time throw, no turnover-worthy plays, 3 credited drops. Got at least one of those here of the clips that I have from this game. But yeah, overall, again, we saw it last week. It looked like he was starting to feel it a little bit more physically. Like, when I say feel it, I mean like be a lot more comfortable, be willing to move around a little bit more. And this definitely carried over into this week. And very first play, what I really liked here was the Jets. They changed things up. We'd seen over the past couple of weeks that like the first pass is just, we're just going to run a go route and I'm just going to put it up for my guy. Instead, it's, let's do a quick little play action, get Rodgers set up, find a nice little easy target underneath, get a completion, get some yards. It helps whenever, you do something on first down, you can open something up on second down, you can make a more manageable throw. But this is still a good way to get a quarterback into rhythm. Don't try go routes right away. Try the bombs. Yeah, if it connects, that's great, but it's a low percentage play. Do something like this. Do a quick little, something in the quick game or something out of play action where it's easy to connect. This gets the Jets going right away. And again, just getting back here, that quick release. Whenever he gets back there, man, put a foot in the ground, that quick release straight to the tight end, just nice little easy completion. This is kind of stuff I like to see. Next play here. Again, this is to the second quarter, but again, the quick release is there, man. And I put this play in there because I can absolutely imagine this guy in the Steelers being either Pat Freiermuth or Jonnu Smith, having the tight end line up in the slot as a number 3 in a obviously a 1x3 or 1x4 formation. When you move the running back out, but just come out, quick little slant, catch, back foot, hit, right on the money. I mean, it's really easy to do this against a defense when they're playing as far back whenever it's, 3rd and 14. But there are times they will be, the Steelers will be facing defenses that like to play a little softer. And you can have this. I mean, take it. The one thing this does, even on a situation like this when it's 3rd and 14, is this gained 10 yards. So your chances of converting 3rd and 14 are pretty low. So get some yards back. Make it a better situation where if you get close to the 50-yard line, now all of a sudden you have a chance to pin them inside the 10. Instead of having to punt, instead of your punter punting from, if the line of scrimmage is here and you throw an incompletion, your punter is, you're hoping to get it inside the 20. And that's a hope and a prayer. But if you get the line of scrimmage up to near the 50, where it ends up being, then all of a sudden, your field, this is when you play the field position game. Be smart. Smarter play calls. Don't try to force things, especially early in games. There's a whole game left to be played. This is smart football. And again, quick little slant. Rodgers catches. Back foot. Ball comes out quick. He can still do this stuff, man. And that kind of stuff I can absolutely see happening quite a bit in the Steelers' offense this season when you have tight ends like Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith. Next play, move the tight end out in motion here. This is actually a really nice play call, and this is, by the way, Garrett Wilson in the slot facing against now current Steeler Jalen Ramsey. Aaron Rodgers here, like sometimes when quarterback play goes down and diminishes, defenses will even try to pull out the old cover 2 man, which it means you have 2 safeties deep, and then it's just man coverage across the board underneath, this linebacker being responsible for the running back. That is kind of an insult to quarterbacks because, there are more complex things than cover 2 man. This is about as basic as it gets, and if a quarterback can't beat it, then there's a problem. But when you have Garrett Wilson who can make a quick little move and then get to the middle, which he does a great job of beating Jalen Ramsey, and then Rodgers does a great job of attacking middle field open and getting it right on the money to Garrett Wilson. This is what happens. Like, all right, I guess we can't run this basic stuff against him. This ends up being a really big gain. Really nice ball from Rodgers as well. I like the play design here. You have the tight end lining up, just off the offensive line, off of being an inline player. He moves out in motion, becomes the number 1 on that side of the formation. And then Garrett Wilson does a great job here. You can see the route, the work that he does to create the release. Does a good job of getting Ramsey to bite to this direction, and then just works things straight up the middle to attack that middle field open. And Rodgers, again, does a great job. Once again, the Jets' offensive line is terrible at picking up stunts. This guy ends up running free. The Dolphins are rushing 4 guys, and once again, they can't pick up a stunt. And he runs free, but Rodgers stands tall. He isn't afraid to take the hit because he knows if he connects on this, that it's going to be a good chunk. He makes the throw. It's right on the money. Perfect pass. Then Wilson does the rest to get a big gain, getting inside the 20-yard line. Great play by Rodgers, good play design, and good execution and route from Garrett Wilson. It hasn't happened consistently with these two, with Wilson's route being great, Rodgers being on the same page with him. Sometimes it's been Rodgers missing. Sometimes it's been Garrett Wilson running his routes in a weird way. It's just not been a great connection, but that one, it worked really, really well. Next play here, we get play action. Rodgers immediately looking here to the tight end here, running the deep out, and it's open. I mean, he's got his hand waving in the hey, I'm open. And so Rodgers finds him, throws it, and yeah. This kind of stuff, Rodgers had 339 yards on the game. This would have given him more than 350, maybe more than 360. I mean, who knows what happens? I don't even remember if the Jets scored on this drive or not. But again, everything from Rodgers' perspective here works. Decent pocket. It is collapsing a little bit. Again, we've seen Rodgers in periods, especially earlier in the season, begin to feel a little uncomfortable when the pocket began to squeeze on him. He doesn't here. He stands tall. He makes the throw. It's right on the money. It just gets dropped. It's unfortunate, but again, we're looking at what Rodgers did in this game, and just for time's sake, no, I don't have every single drop back in here. I did watch every drop back. And this game, Rodgers was much, much more in rhythm. Still a couple misses, but a lot of the stuff that the Jets did, and this might have actually been one of the rare times good game planning, a lot of the stuff they did was just quick little passes, to the flat, whether it be to a running back or a wide receiver. And because the Dolphins play very, very much of let somebody catch it underneath and we'll stop them. And the Jets exploited it. That's when they used their athleticism to get, Garrett Wilson having, time and space to catch and then run. Devontae Adams, same thing. Their running backs, same thing. And they got a lot of yards in this game through those kinds of completions. That's why they didn't have much of a running game in this game. They carried the ball 21 times as a team for 83 yards, averaging just 4 yards a carry. But still, it was a very, and Breece Hall wasn't even in this game. This was Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis as the two running backs. So this was a game where Rodgers was allowed to get into a rhythm because of the game plan and because of the way the defense played. And when Rodgers can get into a rhythm, he can start to make some really good throws and start to do things within structure like this. Not try to do too much, stand tall in the pocket when it's squeezing in on you. Both edge rushers are squeezing in. He stands tall. He makes the throw. It's on the money. Tight end just drops it, That kind of stuff happens. Next play here. Rodgers does a really good job here of manipulating this safety. We got man coverage here underneath. Actually, no, this is not man coverage. This is, looks like it's cover 3. Yeah, this is cover 3. So you've got Jalen Ramsey's responsible for the deep third here. This corner is responsible for the deep third. This corner is responsible for the deep middle third. And then you've got the 4 defenders underneath, covering those 4 zones. The problem is when you have this guy, which, is obviously Jalen Ramsey, responsible for this deep third, and both of these guys are running, deep routes, well, he needs some help. And that safety right here should be the guy to come over here and to help. The problem is that Rodgers does a good job of looking over here first, manipulating the safety, get him to flip his hips this way for just a second. Just watch. It's right there. It doesn't look like much, but you can see it gets him off balance. By that time, it doesn't matter. Adams is just starting to get clear of this defender who ends up staying underneath. He's passing off Adams to the deep defender because this is cover 3. So he's expecting there to be a deep defender. The problem is Ramsey was playing way far up, and this is not a Ramsey issue because Steelers fans are going to be paranoid and concerned about, is Ramsey still the same guy or is he still a good player? When you have your deep third guy playing as a press guy, you are pretty much hoping that this guy's also not running a deep route. Otherwise, this safety is going to have to get over, and now you're going to be in a lot of trouble if he doesn't, and that's exactly what happens here. And Rodgers does a good job to make sure this safety freezes over there, stays. Then he can just drop this over the top. Easy pass. Wide open. This is bad defense by the Dolphins and good execution by Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers pretty much. I mean, Devontae Adams, he runs the route, makes the catch. It's great too, but keeping that safety on that side of the field does that does a lot. I also don't understand why the safety. Maybe the safety is over here just in case this is a run play because the strength, the run strength is on this side of the formation. And what I do like to see from offenses, and I hope to see it more often from the Steelers, is when you can split the formation down the middle and the run strength is on one side and the passing strength is on the other side. That then moves safeties to the other side because safeties are supposed to be there to support. And when you do that and then you end up throwing to this side, you can manipulate safeties, keep them on that side of the field, and then you can execute stuff like this. So this is just good execution by the Jets, good play call by the Jets, good play design by the Jets, great execution by Rodgers. This is good stuff. And you can see here when Rodgers looks to the left there, it gets that safety to freeze for just a second. And then, yeah. Take a look at the throw, the placement. Good stuff. Running the money. Big gain. Good stuff. All right. Next play here. We got the play action fake to one side. Oh, okay. I know I have this one. So I have this one in here because this is one of Rodgers' best throws of the season so far. But again, Steelers fans are going to get concerned. And don't worry, I have a clip later in this video to kind of quell your concern a little bit. Nasty double move by Garrett Wilson. Again, Garrett Wilson, I've never, ever, questioned his ability, his just sheer explosiveness as a wide receiver, what he can do physically. And this double move he does here, it gets Ramsey. I mean, dude, you got Ramsey falling down bad. And Rodgers lets go a freaking, I mean, he is at the 24-yard line, throwing off platform like this. And this ball gets caught there at the opposite 28-yard line. I mean, but again, Steelers fans, I don't want you to get concerned. Don't worry. I have a clip coming later. Like I said, this double move by Garrett Wilson's nasty, man. Ramsey's thinking, okay, I got to go crash on this. Wilson just runs right past him. Ramsey falls over. I think what he was trying to do at that point was just, let me just trip him. I'd rather take the penalty, the pass interference call, and have the ball be right there than have him beat me deep and this honestly could have been a touchdown. And Wilson runs out of bounds. I don't know if the throw took him out of bounds or not, but this throw by Rodgers, though, I mean, off platform. I mean, right on the money, man. Like, again, never question the arm. Never question the arm when it comes to Rodgers right now. The arm is still there. And again, you're starting to see him feel it a little bit more physically, like I said. And then that is absolutely in a positive way. He is starting to do more with moving around, making throws while moving around. It's not quite at the level that it was when he was winning MVPs, but these kind of throws are still right. I mean, again, when we talk about what Aaron Rodgers needs to be for the Steelers in 2025, they don't need him to be MVP Aaron Rodgers from 2020 or 2021. They need him to be Mason Rudolph for the 4 games, for the last 4 games of the season in 2023. But with the ability to do that kind of stuff, this kind of stuff, 4 or 5 times a game. Don't have to do it all the time. Just every now and then, drink from the fountain of youth. Find the Aaron Rodgers of old for just 3 or 4 plays a game. When you can play within structure, execute the offense within structure, but then have the ability to do this every now and then, that's what's going to put you over the top. Competent quarterback play, but with the ability to put on the cape just a few times a game. This is good stuff. And again, that play doesn't end up being a touchdown, but they end up getting a touchdown on that drive. Rodgers, again, gets the snap immediately, sprints out, off-platform throw, zips it right on the money to Davante Adams. Touchdown. I mean, again, he's feeling it. He's feeling it better. Like you can just see it. Everything's looking a lot easier for him. It seemed like it was a little bit more. He was laboring a little bit more to move around earlier in the season. Again, wasn't a statue, but it didn't look this fluid. It didn't look this easy for him earlier in the season, and that's definitely been these past 2 games, this game and the game before, there's a difference. I don't know if it was just, hey, the bye week was later in the season. He just might have needed a rest. It also could be the fact that he's now further removed from the Achilles injury, and now he's starting to feel a little bit better. I mean, this is just, getting to sprint out right on the money, zips it right there. Good stuff. Next play. This might be the play that I put in here just to ease it. Yeah, this is. Okay, so again, we got Jalen Ramsey, Garrett Wilson, one-on-one. This is actually a pretty good throw from Rodgers, too, so it's still, worthy of putting in an Aaron Rodgers thing. But since they are facing Jalen Ramsey, I think I'll knock out two birds with one stone. And Ramsey this time just completely locks down Garrett Wilson. No double move this time, straight up go, runs with him the whole time. I mean, that is as blanketed of coverage as you can possibly get. And when you look at the end zone view, he actually almost intercepts this. This is definitely not a turnover-worthy play. This is actually a really good throw. This is just Jalen Ramsey being Jalen Ramsey. Dude, he is covered the entire way. And I think, again, at this point, with the way Rodgers is feeling it, the way he's made a couple throws in this game that have been really good, receivers are making catches, everything's going well. He's like, oh, I think he'll get enough separation at some point. Yeah, no, Jalen Ramsey probably was getting pissed by this point, being like, screw this. I ain't getting beat deep again. So it's kind of that fool me once, fool me twice kind of thing. Yeah, Ramsey's like, yeah, this isn't happening again. Said Rodgers, again, back foot. I mean, if he wasn't under pressure, he probably could have, it would have been better to throw to the tight end here. I mean, he would have been wide open. It would have been great. That would have been the better throw, the better decision. But when you're under pressure and you got a guy in your face, let me put it up. And see, that's the other thing. This is under pressure. This is with one guy crashing in on him, another guy about to win off the outside. There's not enough time to sit here and be like, yeah, okay, I don't want to do this. Instead, let me have some time to make a decision, and then, I can hit this guy over the top, and that's a much, much easier completion, a much higher percentage throw. But when you're under pressure, you're like, well, I got to get the ball out, or I'm going to take a sack. I'll just put it up to a guy who I've already connected with deep in this game against Jalen Ramsey, and I'll trust him to make the play. And again, this is actually a pretty good throw. This is right on the money again, but this is just Ramsey being, again, dude, okay, I have to go like frame by frame here, because he almost intercepts this. Remember watching this on the broadcast, I was like, dude. Like, he almost had that. That would have been a ridiculous interception. Yeah. So, Ramsey can still cover. Don't worry. Nobody bats 1,000. Not even Darrelle Revis batted 1,000. But, yeah, he can still blanket some of the more dangerous receivers in the league. And for all the things that I've said about Garrett Wilson, it's been more about the fit with Rodgers than it's been about anything else. Nobody can deny Garrett Wilson's ability, like physical ability, what he can do to create separation, things like that. He's still very, very dangerous. Next play. Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, didn't like this over the top. These are well covered right here. Could go there possibly, but again, you're being flushed out. Dolphins running a stunt here. Yep, another stunt. They can't pick it up. Oh gosh, dude, it's actually kind of amazing. So, 3 sacks in this game. One was on Rodgers for sure, and I don't have it in here, but there was one where he like rolled out to the right and like even made a guy miss and was trying to get somebody open, and then nobody. This was like in the red zone. Everybody just went into the end zone and just kind of moved around side to side. Nobody came back to the quarterback and made it easier for him. And meanwhile, Rodgers just ended up eating it instead of forcing a throw, and they ended up settling for a field goal. And that's the right decision. You don't want to force it, possibly throw an interception, and now you have nothing. Take the sack where you lose just a few yards, and you're still well in field goal range, and you kick a field goal. But it could have been possibly a first down if a receiver just ran toward the quarterback. So that one's still on Rodgers, because you can't blame that on the offensive line. He rolled out of the pocket. This one, I'm sorry, this one's on the offensive line. The Dolphins are rushing 5 here. They are. Oh no, they're not even doing that. They're rushing 4. So this guy is actually just covering the running back. So again, that's another 4-man rush, and once again, they just can't pick up the stunt. And not only do they not pick up the stunt well, but this guy completely just barrels over the center, and then it's 2 guys rushing at Rodgers, and then the tackle loses on the outside. Again, this is what Rodgers dealt with all season long. It's just bad stuff, man. They could not pass protect. There was a reason why Rodgers was like first read throw. First read, not there, check down. Because he didn't have time to find second read, third read, anything like that. Just couldn't do it. Bad stuff. Next play here, I think this one was pretty good. Play action fake. You got Allen Lazard kind of running this corner. Not quite like a high cross concept here. And you get the flat here. This is more of a 3 level. So you got flat here. You got this deep corner here. And then you have this crosser. And so pretty much what you're doing is this is your alert. And then you are reading the curl flat defender for whether you throw it here or whether you throw it here. Okay. Now, with this being man coverage and Lazard not just beating his guy, but that guy then falling down, Lazard's now wide open. That's where you throw it. Otherwise, if that guy stays with him and he runs with him and the safety goes over the top, that's what you don't take. Then you would be reading this defender right here who is covering the curl flat, which means he is either playing really close to the flat or he is getting depth and taking away the curl, where then if he throws to the flat, he can just run up and take that guy. But because Lazard's guy falls down, that's the easy throw. It's the bigger, again, that's why it's an alert. It depends on what happens in coverage. If it's man coverage, there's no safety over the top, maybe you're willing to take the shot. If a guy falls down and there's no safety over the top, yeah, absolutely throw it. That you always want to take the biggest chunk out of the defense that you possibly can. If that didn't happen, the right read would have been Garrett Wilson, because the curl flat defender is definitely closer to the flat. So you would then layer that over the top to Wilson, who's running that crosser. But you say thank you to this guy for falling down. You throw it to Lazard. You get it right on the money. Bada bing, bada boom. Big chunk. Good stuff. And good on Rodgers for, again, you always look to the alert. You look to the coverage. Okay, what's the actual coverage? Oh, it's cover 1? Okay, great. This safety is over the top, but then this guy falls down. So Lazard's open. You make the throw. Good. This is again, competent quarterbacking. This isn't anything extraordinary. This is competent play. You do the competent stuff. You play competent play within the structure of the offense, and then you put the cape on for just a few plays a game. You match that with the ability to actually run the football efficiently, you're talking about an offense that can put up a lot of points and a lot of yards. So, yeah. Next play here. This might have been, is this the play I'm thinking of? Yeah. Okay. So, again, this is, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know how the play is called. Devontae Adams is obviously the first read here because that's exactly where Rodgers goes. Back foot, he wants to throw to Adams. It's not there. Or he's pump faking to get this guy to bite, and then possibly wants to go deep. The problem is Adams doesn't get the separation he needs, and then Rodgers is under duress, so he then is then forced to go this way. So he's almost kind of forced to stay on Adams. Now, you can watch Garrett Wilson streak to the middle of the field against middle field open and just go, I'm wide open. And you can see him. I mean, he put his hand up like 4 times. I'm open. I'm open. I'm open. I'm open. And you can see, dude, watch. Yeah. He was mad. He was so mad. But again, let's watch this from Rodgers' perspective. So, Adams is the first read. It's a pump fake, trying to get this going deep. It doesn't happen. Separation's not there. Now, what I would like, watching this, knowing how it plays out, not knowing how the play is designed, and knowing that, hey, this is the first read, this is the second read, I don't know any of that. All I know is, based off of where Rodgers looks first, this is the first read. From there, it's complete conjecture, completely guessing. You don't know. You could say, he missed Garrett Wilson wide open over the middle of the field. What if that's not the second read? Now, I would think that you would like to go from here in this direction when it comes to your reads. That doesn't always mean that's the way it is. You could go 1 to 2 to 3. That's what I'd like to see. And if you were to do that, then Rodgers could probably look to his left and see Garrett Wilson streaking over the middle of the field being like, hey, if I catch this, this is a touchdown. It also doesn't help that, once again, your tackle is losing in pass protection, which now forces you to move this direction, which makes it even harder to find Garrett Wilson streaking over the middle of the field where there is no Dolphin in sight. So, again, it's not just like, I would like to see a quarterback of Rodgers' like level of experience find Garrett Wilson open. That's completely fair. I also understand that this offensive line sucks. They are bad. And Rodgers is currently, like, consistently, and definitely on this play, under duress, having to move away. And then it's hard to, now again, you could, when you get to this point and you do find, again, if this isn't open, look somewhere else. Look anywhere else. And once you get into improv mode, look anywhere else, and you'll again see Garrett Wilson wide open. So that's why I do kind of put this on Rodgers. Also, the offensive line sucks. So that's my analysis on that one. I'd like to see Rodgers look somewhere else other than Adams for pretty much the entirety of the play, hoping he gets open. That's probably Rodgers' worst play of this entire game. Last play here. I just have this in here. We haven't seen this throw in a long time. For those of you who have watched this all the way through, haven't seen this throw in a long time. Good old just back shoulder throw down the sideline. Whoop. He tried it with Garrett Wilson several times earlier in the season and hardly ever connected. Mike Williams is now a Steeler by this point in the season, so that's not a guy you can throw the back shoulder to. It's got to be Davante Adams now, and yeah. By the way, this is third down. Third down, you need to get to about the 27, and you get the first down. Sometimes it's just easy just to do the back shoulder. One-on-one on the outside, I'll just throw it back shoulder to Davante Adams. Done this a million times in Green Bay, so we'll do it here again. So, again, when we look at these, we're trying to look at the things that Rodgers can do. He can work the quick game. We're seeing the physicality, like his own his physical ability, not physicality, but physical ability. He's getting more and more comfortable. He's moving around better. The arm strength is still there. The quick release is still there. The ability to make some ridiculous throws is still in there. And then he can still do the same stuff he's done for years, like this back shoulder throw. So, we'll see how this plays out. But I do think this was one of the more encouraging games of this season so far for Rodgers. Because, again, the season's going on. And instead of him getting more worn down as the season's going, it seems like he's getting physically stronger and just feeling better physically. That typically doesn't happen, and I think by this time, this is what, December 8th? What's Rodgers' birthday here? Let me look it up real quick. Aaron Rodgers' birthday. I know it's in December. Aaron Rodgers' birthday is December 2nd. So he had just turned 41 years old the day after the previous game. So he's now 41 as the season's going. That's encouraging. So we'll see what happens next week. According to Pro Football Focus, it was an even better game in the next game, which was at Jacksonville. But we'll get into that with tomorrow's Chalk Talk. So I appreciate you tuning into this one. We'll catch you guys on the Flippity Flip. See you later.